Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Christy with Keeping Up with Christy, and today I'm going to be showing you some easy summer salads and desserts. So the first thing I'm getting started here with is the dressing for a 7-layered salad. My mom, she would make this when I was growing up, but she would always just top, the recipe that she had was just plain mayonnaise topped on the layered salad. And I like to make, it's a dressing that I use on this salad as well as the broccoli salad you'll be seeing in a minute. It's basically the same thing. It's the mayonnaise with a little bit of apple cider vinegar, sugar, salt, and pepper. I'll have the recipe linked down below in the description box for the broccoli salad. I'll type it all up, as well as for the 7-layer salad. But it's easy to throw it together before folks are coming over for like a pool party or a barbecue, and a great way you can make it ahead earlier in the day and just stick it in the fridge and let it get ready because it gets better as it sits. So I mixed up the dressing, and then I put a whole bunch of green leaf lettuce in the bottom of the bowl, topping it with some sliced green onions, and then we boiled up some eggs in the Instant Pot, and I'm just going to get those sliced and chopped. We ended up using 6 eggs in our salad, so it has plenty of egg in it. Then we're also going to put some bacon bits and some green peas and some shredded cheese. Once all that's in there, and again the recipe, the amounts we used will be in the bottom. Once all that is in there, I will top it with the dressing to let it sit and hang out till we're ready to eat. And then right before we serve on the line, I make sure and toss that salad so that everything's coated in that dressing. So next up, I'm going to show you how I make my broccoli salad. But broccoli, when it comes home from the store, it looks like this, and I don't like that in my salad. I want it to look like this. So this is how I get that. I get a boiling pot of water, just have it on simmer, and I stick the tops of the broccoli crowns there. You got to wash it anyway, so this is going to get it nice and clean, but also it helps remove that waxy white stuff that they have on there. It just comes off, and then I give it a good shake over the pot. You could, if you get it too hot, you don't want to cook your broccoli, so if you got it too hot, you could even put it in some ice water to make sure you're not cooking it. But I just give it a quick dip, and it brightens it up, and I just think that looks beautiful on our salad. So also, then you're going to take those broccoli tops, and you're going to cut them all up. And I use, you can't really tell from this footage I shot here, but I use down into the broccoli stem a good bit. You've cleaned it in the pot of hot water. It's usable broccoli stems. They're not going to hurt you, and you paid for it. So I like to make sure I really get in there and kind of get some of the stems and just chop them up small, just like I do the broccoli florets. And so it just kind of all mixes in together. Once that is all chopped in a bowl, and the recipe we have that I'll put down below in the description, it calls for 1 bunch of broccoli, like 1 package or rubber band grouped it together. But we did 2 because we doubled our recipe. So that's why we're using this huge bowl here, and we're doubling everything. But you'll see the original recipe listed in the description box. But I'm just gonna get to putting everything in. So I'm gonna chop up my red onion first and get that in there. Now, here's a tip. If you have people in your family, or if you yourself, you don't like onion, like the bite of it, a red onion is milder than like a white or a yellow. But what I will do is, instead of putting in chunks of onion, when I make the dressing, sometimes I will just take maybe a tablespoon's worth of onion that I have grated. Just get your little cheese grater out and grate the onion over that. And then make sure you have, about a tablespoon's worth, and stick that in your mayonnaise dressing. And you have this great onion flavor all throughout, but the people who don't like to bite into onions aren't going, oh, there's onion in this. They can't really tell what's in it. They just know it tastes good. Because I have people who don't like to bite an onion, but they like the taste of it in the background. So I aim to please. But on this day, I put in the red onion because we had it and I thought it would look pretty. So I've put that in there, the bacon bits, we've put some cheese, and we use cranberries and slivered almonds. The original recipe, and this recipe travels all around the South. I know everybody knows how to make this, but most people will put raisins, golden or the regular, and they put walnuts in their salads like this. But again, I've got people who don't like that. So we have traded it out for cranberries and slivered almonds. And we all love it, and it's great at Christmas. This is a great thing to have at Christmas. I know this is Easy Summer Salads video, but because of the red and the green in that salad, and you can get broccoli year-round, it's a great side dish to have and feel like you're eating, well, a salad instead of all the carbs. But it does have mayonnaise in it, so I'm not going to say it's healthy. But there I am. I'm just mixing up the dressing. I have my sweet little helper with me. She was still there with me that day, and she wanted to help, so she got in on the action too, and she's adorable. So I let her climb up in there with her washed hands and get to mixing. So here we are. We're just going to mix it all together, and again, the longer it sits, the better it is. So we actually put together this salad the day before we were having company to do a cookout with, so it could just sit in the fridge overnight, and it gets better with time. You helped make the broccoli salad. And you don't normally eat salad, do you?
Mm-mm.
But you like broccoli.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to try this?
Yeah.
All right, pick up that fork. Show everybody what you got. A little broccoli salad. You're going to try it. What do you think? You like it? Oh my gosh, y'all, isn't she adorable? She liked the broccoli salad. She tried something new and she enjoyed it. I think it helped that she helped make it. That always helps for them to like it if they help make it. She had to show off her apron. She was very proud of wearing that apron. Next is my marinated bean salad. So I was just showing you real quick in a pot of hot water. I just blanch the lima beans. This original recipe, and that's what I'll include, calls for you using canned vegetables. But I don't like using canned vegetables for this. I think the frozen vegetables just have a fresher taste and texture and all that. So that's the only change on the recipe that I'm going to show you down below. And we got this recipe from a lady in Savannah, Georgia, where my brother lives, and he is on staff at a church, and she's a church member there, and we had gone and they fed us, and we just loved the marinated bean salad, so she got us the recipe. But like I said, we would rather use the frozen vegetables, and I think that's what she told us she did. So that's the way we do it. And but the limas just need to go in a little bit of water, so when you do up that, if you're doing these salads at the same time, like I just had that pot of water. I cooked the broccoli or cleaned the broccoli in. First, I had taken the lima beans to it and gone ahead and getting them ready. Then you add in frozen corn, frozen green beans, and frozen green peas. None of those have to be pre-cooked in any way. And the limas, we only throw them in the hot water for 2 or 3 minutes and then drain them, pull those out and get those in the pot. So everything else goes in frozen, and by the time it is ready for you to eat, whenever that is, again, I make this the day before usually. Of course, they're going to be thawed, but even if you just were making it 2 or 3 hours before, they'd be thawed, they'd be fine, because you're going to pour over that dressing I was making. And that recipe for that dressing in the pot, it'll be down below in the description box, but it's vinegar, oil, water, some sugar, salt and pepper, and you just boil it on the stovetop for 2 minutes. And then you're going to pour that hot mixture over the rest of these cold and raw vegetables, the frozen and raw. So I put red onion in there. I've got celery I'm chopping up, green bell pepper. The recipe says that pimentos in the jar are optional, so we always do them. Mom grabbed the pimentos and she forgot to look for dice, so she got sliced, but that was fine. I just pulled them out of the jar, drained, and chopped them up a little bit. So once you get all of that, your frozen and your fresh vegetables put together, you pour over that dressing and then give it a toss. And then we're actually going to put it in a prettier bowl because I was just tossing it in my pot. And then we just put the lid on it and serve from that bowl when the company comes and we're ready to eat. It's real easy, simple salad, and everybody always loves it. So next up are two desserts that I make a lot in the summertime because they're so simple and easy. The first one is Gooey butter cake, and I think like everybody in the South makes this, and sometimes they're tweaked a little differently. We make them even in the fall by adding pumpkin to them and cinnamon and kind of changing them up. But this is just the traditional Gooey butter cake, and this is how I make it with a box of yellow cake mix, a stick of butter, and 1 egg. You saw we sprayed our pan, but it has a stick of butter in this bottom, so I mean, it's not going to stick. But always spray your pan anyway, just to make sure. And then we are going to pat it out into our 9x13. You're just basically making that bottom layer crust. And then I use the same bowl. Like, I make sure all that crust stuff is out, but I don't wash my paddle. I don't wash my bowl out. I just get everything in there next, which is a block of cream cheese, and I use 2 eggs. My original recipe called for 1, but I like it to be a little fluffier, so I do too. And then you're gonna need a pound of powdered sugar. And we always buy our powdered sugar in 2-pound bags now, usually at Aldi, sometimes at Walmart, but we don't buy like a 1-pound box, because when I used to do that when I was younger and just buy the 1-pound box, you just throw the whole box in there, you don't have to measure anything out. But if you're buying the 2-pound bag, it's like 2.5 cups of sugar, powdered sugar. So you get that in there and you make sure it's all smooth, creamy, mixed together. And then you just take that with your spatula, pour it out of your pot or your bowl into your casserole dish and spread it out. It will bake at 350 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes. I usually just watch it. When I can smell it, you know that it's done, I go check it. If it's nice and brown all over the top, which is usually in my oven that I have at this house right at 40 minutes. But if you have an oven that cooks a little faster, you might want to start looking at it at 30. My helper was back with me. This is a good thing for her to help do. It's so simple and easy, and she likes to help. So that's what it looked like when it comes out. It kind of rises and then falls when it comes out, so don't let that freak you out if you haven't ever made one before. It's what it's supposed to do. This is my Nobake Cheesecake. I get this from the Eagle Brand Milk website, and I've been doing it forever. You just need 2 graham cracker crust, 2 Eagle Brand milks, 2 cream cheeses, and some lime juice. Actually, the recipe calls for lemon juice, and we didn't have it, so we did lime. And this is a doubled recipe again, so I can make 2 no-bake cheesecakes. So we're getting the 2 blocks of cream cheese in there. At this point, I did wash my bowl and my paddle because this has no egg in it. So you don't have to worry about it being baked. It's just going to go straight from your mixing bowl into your pie crust and then to your fridge. And then if you can make them up the day before, that's great, but they'll set up within, you know, an hour or 2, and you can start serving them, cutting them up. I've never had these little pies go wrong. Now, normally we go ahead and just top them with cherry pie filling or strawberry pie filling, which you can find, or blueberry pie filling. I mean, all those things would be yummy, right? But on this night, we decided that instead of topping it, we would just leave both of them plain, and we have store-bought cherry pie filling that we put out in a little bowl, and we had homemade, no, not homemade. I didn't make it, but we bought caramel sauce. I do make a homemade caramel sauce, and it's really good, but on that night, I remember we ended up just purchasing it. And we sent out the squeezed bottle of Hershey's chocolate syrup, so they could top it with the fruit or the caramel and the chocolate, however they wanted to. Or my dad, he likes to eat it plain. He doesn't put anything on top. He just likes the cheesecake bottom. So there you have it, an easy, simple dessert. And the best part is, because it doesn't have any egg in it, well, you get to lick the spoon, right? The batter, the beater. She's cute. All right, thanks for joining me, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Give it a like down below, and don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. We'd love to see you back. Thanks.